What's up, y'all? Hope everybody's having a great day out there. I got a whole bunch of stories I want to get into here with you guys in just a second. But before I get into that, let me just say, everybody, sign up for Crystal Kyle and Friends on Substack. We have an awesome conversation with Ryan Grimm that drops today. I'm going to post about 35 minutes of it on the YouTube channel for everybody to see. But the conversation was longer. It was about an hour and 30 minutes. You can check out the whole thing if you sign up for Crystal Kyle and Friends on Substack. He was at Zohran Mamdani's victory party, which I have to say, I'm not really a party guy. I'm a big introvert, but that was the first time I saw somebody at a party, and I was like, fuck, I wish I was there. Because you had Jamal Bowman, Mahmoud Khalil, Mehdi Hassan Piker, Ryan, Prem Thakur, all these people who I love who do great work. And I was just watching them have fun and shoot the shit, and I was like, fuck, I wish I was there having a couple drinks. It would have been an awesome time. But he was there, so we talked about that. We also talked about the election more broadly and his take on that. And then we got into the nuclear right-wing civil war that's currently unfolding. So you don't want to miss any of it. Sign up on Substack. Watch that whole thing. You won't regret it. It was a great time. All right, so a lot of stuff to get to today, though. So I know a bunch of you guys have probably heard of this by now already, but Nancy Pelosi is officially retiring. So the first female Speaker of the House is now officially retiring. She's in her 80s. Look, it's a great thing to see, if I'm being honest, because, you know, Eleanor Holmes Norton, 88 years old, literally has dementia. She wants to run again. She was just a victim of fraud because it was so easy to dupe her because she literally has dementia. She's running again. We've had a Dianne Feinstein, of course, that was a nightmare. Joe Biden, of course, that was an absolute nightmare as well. There were, 6 or 8 different politicians who've died in office since 2022. Literally every one of them was a Democrat. And so shout out to Pelosi for understanding, look, I've been doing this for a long time. It's time for somebody else to take my place. So it looks like her daughter might run, Christina Pelosi. And I think there's one other person also running. But the one that you absolutely should vote for. So if you live in Nancy Pelosi's district in California, this is who you need to vote for. Shoykat Chakrabarti. Shoykat Chakrabarti is already running for the seat. He's been on Crystal Kyle and Friends before, but he was one of the co-founders of Justice Democrats with yours truly. So he was there for the original rebellion where we helped get AOC in power. We helped get, Ilhan Omar in power and Rashida Tlaib in power. And so he's been there from the beginning, and he's been doing great work. He's right on all the policy issues, and this could be his seat, bro. So we're going to try to get him back on KKF again soon, but definitely if you live in that district, vote for Shoykat because that's the way we need to go. Okay. How's this for an amazing fact? I just learned this. So there's this right-wing group, this fascist group called Moms for Liberty, and they ran 31 candidates in the election. Would you like to take a guess? How many of their candidates won? 0. Zip, zilch, nada, none. Isn't that amazing? Oh my God, I love it. Inject it right in my veins, bro. Inject it in my veins. Because it's nice to know there are still some fucking consequences. It's nice to know because, when Trump got back in there, it was literally a fucking endless crime spree, a sadistic crime spree that he's on and is continuing to be on with all the Republicans. But thankfully, the American people said, yeah, you know what? We see what you're doing and we fucking hate you. Go fuck yourself. Unbelievable. Truly, truly unbelievable. Get that fucking old pouch out of my mouth. All right. This is awesome also. So Fox News is in hyper cope mode. And Ron Filipkowski from Midas Touch posted this, and shout out to him for doing this. It's hard to believe this is real, but it is. It's real. So Laura Ingraham was talking to Vivek Ramaswamy about the election, and the chyron on the bottom of the screen, the banner, it says, by winning, Democrats are actually losing. What am I supposed to say to that? Like, they're doing my job for me. I can't parody that. It's already beyond parody. This is like beyond ridiculous. There's nothing I have to say. There's nothing I have to do. I just have to show what you're doing and go, look at these motherfuckers. They're not well. They are not well in the head, y'all. They are fucked up. By winning, Democrats are losing. Okay, so when we lose, are we also losing? Or does that mean that we're winning when we lose? Like, what does that mean? What does that mean? By winning, we're losing? It's tautologically incorrect, factually incorrect. But they can't help themselves. They can't help themselves. This is who we're dealing with. By the way, think about it. Every time Democrats lose, they all have a struggle session and hold hands, and they go, oh, where did we go wrong, and how can we win? Who can we appeal to try to get back? We need to reevaluate everything about ourselves. Meanwhile, Republicans lose, this is their fucking reaction. Actually, even though we lost, we kind of won if you think about it. No, you didn't. But this is how they think. This is how they think. It's that bull in a china shop mentality. And, you know, even to the point where it's denying objective reality. And this is what I told you guys for so long, that this is a right-wing postmodernist movement. They don't believe in objective reality. They don't believe in empirical truth. They believe in their truth, my truth, whatever makes them feel good in the moment. And that's how you get goofy ass shit like this. Okay, so how about this? I love this story. So the New York Times reported that even though Trump is publicly shitting on Zohran endlessly and calling him a communist, radical, Marxo-Islamist, or whatever the fuck he's calling him, every negative word you can think of, they label him that, right? You have Republicans trying to denaturalize him and deport him. Really sick, gross stuff. They're calling him a jihadist and stuff like that. Incredibly depraved, Islamophobic, bigoted, etc., etc. Well, Trump, even though publicly he's echoing a lot of those smears, privately he's like, you know what, this guy, he's really something special, let me tell you. He's a talented politician. He's slick. He's a good talker. He's sexy. Excuse me, what? Did I say that? I didn't say that. I didn't say that. You said that. That's all what's actually happening. He called him talented, slick, and a good talker. So Trump, first and foremost, before anything else, he's an entertainer. And so when he looks at this guy, he goes, oh, shit. He's fucking talented. He's got that X factor. It's game recognized game. And so I love that. I love that. Because, you know, all the other Republicans, none of them would fucking acknowledge that, even behind closed doors. Meanwhile, Trump's like, they got one here. All right, more. So Trump, immediately after the Republicans lost, he went out there and said, they have this new word called affordability, and the Republicans don't talk about it enough. Democrats did. Republicans don't talk about it enough. That's what he said the first day. The second day, he comes out and says, I don't want to hear about the word affordability. Again, guys, like, this is, I'm sorry, this is the dementia. This, like, cognitively, he's not okay. He's not doing well. He says one thing one day, the next day he says literally the exact opposite, and he doesn't skip a beat. He doesn't bat an eyelash. Like, what? You're all about affordability the first day. The second day, it's, I don't want to hear about affordability. Okay, all right. If you say so, champ. So he also decided to lash out at Nancy Pelosi when he heard she was retiring. He said, Nancy Pelosi, the old and broken political hack who impeached me twice and lost, is finally calling it quits. She illegally made a fortune in the stock market, ripped off the American public, and was a disaster for America. I'm glad the stench of Nancy Pelosi is gone. So this triggered the fuck out of me, namely because, yeah, you can go after Nancy Pelosi for insider trading and the stock market stuff. Of course, everybody has, everybody will. There's been so many articles on it. Everybody knows about it. But you are mathematically, provably, way more corrupt than she is. This is what I can't stand about Trump. Like, bro, like, it is a fact of reality that we can show people that you are way more corrupt. You did a multi-billion-dollar crypto scam on your own supporters, you sick son of a bitch. Your son-in-law Jared took $2 billion from Saudi Arabia. You violated the emoluments clause in so many ways that I literally lost count, and it's my job to follow this stuff. Like, he himself has taken tens of millions from Saudi Arabia. We don't even know the exact number. He's got a fucking resort opening in Oman. He had a resort open in Vietnam. He's got all these backroom fucking deals going on. He was caught on camera. What was he talking to the head of Malaysia or Indonesia or something like that at a recent event? And like the guy was talking about, we need to switch the venue because that venue's not great. We got to get you a different venue. And he was caught on a high mic saying, okay, great, we're going to look into that. Literally doing an illegal, corrupt deal right in front of everybody's fucking face on national TV live. And you're going to talk about Nancy Pelosi's corruption. I'm sorry, you made it so that's now, it's laughable to bring up her corruption at this point. It is literally laughable at this point to bring up her corruption, given the extent of your corruption. Trump is by far the most corrupt president we've ever had, and it's not even close. Now, to that point, sloppy Steve Bannon was given a speech the other day, and he said the following. This is amazing. He says, if we lose the midterms and we lose 2028, some in this room are going to prison, myself included. Don't threaten us with a good time, homie. Do not threaten us with a good time. So the funny thing is, it's actually not true for him in particular. He did commit crimes. He did this fake build the wall scam where they tried to privately fund a border wall, which is insane. Everybody should have known it was a scam. Of course you can't privately fund a border wall. That's ludicrous. But they raised millions of dollars, basically stole the money from MAGA, from, again, their own supporters. And he was found guilty of that, and he was going to prison for fraud. Trump pardoned his ass. A bunch of people forget this about Steve Bannon. But like, no, this should come up every time anybody talks about him, that he is a fucking criminal. But anyway, he was pardoned by Trump. And now, since then, he hasn't committed any crime since then. He's not even with the regime anymore. And so he actually wouldn't be going to prison. But in a world that made sense, Donald Trump sure fucking would. Donald Trump would. Kristi Noem would. Pam Bondi would. Stephen Miller would. Elon Musk would. All the fucking ICE agents who are illegally cracking skulls and taking away people's due process rights, they would. Now, look, unfortunately, I don't think the Democrats, I wish that they're going to act like me and think like me and do the things I would do, but I fear that they'll do the Obama thing again and say, we look forwards, we don't look backwards. These people, we're not going to really go after them. Now, it'd be a shame, but I honestly think that's what's most likely to happen. But I would love it if they would go after all these MAGA thugs and criminals, but Steve, they're not going to, this clip, I know you're trying to rile up Republicans to vote in the midterms and in 2028, but if anything, you're just riling up our side more. You're riling up Democrats and liberals and leftists more, because we hear this and I go, oh, yummy in my tummy, please. We're going to have to really everybody go out there and vote, get everybody involved, because we need this to happen. We need these criminals to go to prison, or we don't have a country anymore. If we can't go after them for this crime spree, then we literally don't have a country anymore. All right, so I have this amazing story, too. So Jacqueline Sweet, who is a journalist for Rolling Stone, The Nation, The Intercept, The Guardian, Politico, Dropsite News, she posted that the FBI, there's this FBI informant who was convicted of lying about a fake bribery scheme involving the Bidens, and he's been quietly released from prison just months into a 6-year sentence. So basically what they're fearing is that Trump, any moment, is going to fucking pardon this guy or commute his sentence. Now, remember, it's been proven that he's a liar. He lied about so many different aspects of Hunter Biden and Joe Biden and Burisma. And so he was in prison, found guilty. There was no ambiguity around it. Trump is freeing him. Now, of course, I think the reason Trump is freeing him is because this guy lied on his behalf. He lied to smear Democrats. He lied to smear Joe Biden and Hunter Biden. But here we go again with Trump. I mean, this is, again, it is a absolute crime spree that they're going on. He pardoned over 1,000 January 6ers. These people assaulted cops, committed violent crimes. Many of them, when they got out, went on to literally kill people, went on to be Fredophiles. And he doesn't, even the people in Trump's administration, when he pardoned them, they were like, oh shit, I didn't know you were going to go this far. That's crazy. I didn't know you were going to pardon the violent people. That's fucking crazy. But he did it. And then they commit crimes, and then nobody even fucking talks about it again. George Santos, he just pardoned George Santos. This guy committed dozens of crimes. Fucking identity theft, fraud, all sorts of stuff. Trump even made it so he doesn't have to pay restitution. So he ruins people's lives and doesn't have to pay restitution. This is crazy. It's almost like he's ideologically pro-criminal. Because he knows he's a criminal. These are his people, guys. These are his people. So another just untenable fucking pardon that looks like it's about to happen. Here's another one of those. So the Washington Post is reporting that Trump has pardoned Glenn Casad. He's the former Tennessee House Speaker and his former top aide in the state legislature, just weeks after they were sentenced to prison on public corruption charges. So yet again, are you realizing a theme here? Are you realizing a pattern here? High-profile right-winger, guilty of corruption or lying about the other side or whatever it may be, slander, fucking libel, whatever it might be about the other side. In all those instances, he pardons them. The other thing is, we know there's literally a pay-to-play scheme that's going on where you've had people go down to Mar-a-Lago, give Trump $1 million, then Trump pardons the family member of the person who gave him the $1 million. This stuff is it's all happening right in front of our eyes. What's so crazy to me is, we should already be talking about impeachment, obviously. And then when he gets out, oh my God, you have to arrest his ass. Are you kidding me? You have to arrest his ass. I almost hope he survives so we can fucking arrest him. Because this is totally untenable. The list of crimes, it's hundreds of crimes that have already been committed by Trump alone, never mind the other thugs that are in his regime. So just crazy, crazy, crazy stuff here. Multiple pardons of corrupt goons. Now, this is wild to me. So immediately after the Democrats shellacked the Republicans in the election, you had on Fox News, they had this like Fox News Patriot Awards or something, I think they call it. It's like the Oscars or the Grammys or whatever for conservative media and the conservative world. It's very bizarre. It's very strange. It clearly is what I like to call a self-suck-off session. And you only do a self-suck-off session if nobody else will suck you off. And that's what this is. It's like, well, we just got destroyed at the polls. Voters hate us. We're destroying everything. The economy is tanking. We're warmongering all over the place. We're a mess. Everybody despises us. So let's have an award show where we sit in a room with each other and hand each other the fake fucking gold-plated bullshit and say, you're the best. We love you so much. Like, what is this? So guess what? They named Melania Trump Patriot of the Year. Like, what are we even doing? What are we even doing? Well, this country is a joke. And honestly, to be fair, that's almost unfair, because it really is just half the country. It's really the fucking Republicans. Like, honestly, if you're a Republican, are you not embarrassed by this? Imagine for a second MSNBC had, like, MSNBC Patriots of the Year, and they did a whole fucking award show, and, like, Rachel Maddow hands a fucking award to, like, what's the name of the Fox News woman who debates them all the time on the 5? Jessica Tarloff. You have, like, Rachel Maddow, Jessica Tarloff, you are the Patriot of the... Like, I'd be embarrassed. I'd look at that like, oh my God, like, this is so fucking cringe. I don't want to be associated with this. But Republicans do it, and they act like it's the most normal fucking thing in the world. Like, what is this? And also, like, literally the night before, you just got obliterated in the election. Like, everybody hates you, and you know it. What is this? So just so bizarre. But it gets weirder. Ready? So at this same event, they take themselves so seriously. It's so gross. They came up with, and I'm not kidding about this, a Charlie Kirk Legacy Award. First of all, his body's not even cold yet. And you came up with a Charlie Kirk Legacy Award? That's already incredibly bizarre, and don't pretend like it's not. You're not going to gaslight us out of thinking that that's weird. It's fucking weird, okay? And you'll never guess who got the Charlie Kirk Legacy Award. Erica Kirk. Of course. Of course. It's just incredible. We're going to have the Breaking Points Awards, and I'm going to hand Crystal the Breaking Points Award for Patriot of the Year. Everybody tune in tomorrow. Me and all the online lefties will sit around in a circle and we'll hand each other these fake awards and say, I think you're I think you're the best dressed. Really? I think you're the best talker. Like, what is this? Oh my God. And at this moment too, where like everything is falling apart, the economy is collapsing, unemployment's going up, inflation's going up. Again, they're warmongering absolutely everywhere. Trump's corruption is off the goddamn charts. He's demolishing the East Wing of the White House and building the Jeffrey Epstein ballroom funded by billionaires for more pay-to-play corruption. All that's going on, and they're like, we need to celebrate ourselves. Like, I'm sure Americans who are in the midst of this government shutdown, 1 million people, fucking in the midst of a government shutdown, people are not even showing up to work anymore because they're not getting fucking paid for it. I don't blame them. And you guys are sucking yourselves off on Fox News, handing out awards to each other. I just can't. This is out of this world. All right, but this to me is honestly the biggest story of the day, and I was chomping at the bit to talk about this because this to me is just, it symbolizes just the end of civilization. I know that sounds extreme. I know that sounds hyperbolic, but I actually mean it. So Tesla shareholders approved Elon Musk getting $1 trillion pay package. Let me repeat that. One man, Elon Musk, $1 trillion with a T dollar pay package. Bro, excuse you? We live in a country where we have, 60,000, 80,000 or so homeless veterans? It's probably more than that. It's probably more. Whatever the official number is, I bet you at least double that, bitch. Right? Homeless veterans. We have, 600,000 homeless people overall in this country. That's the official number. Again, it's probably more than that. It's probably over 1 million, and it's probably going to go up, considering what's about to happen with the economy. We got inflation going up. We got unemployment going up. We got tens of millions of people who can't afford health insurance. We have 60,000 people die every single year because they don't have access to basic health care. We have basically a collapsing country, and one man is going to get $1 trillion pay package. Now, I'm sorry, bro. This, simply put, should not fucking be allowed. We should not allow this to happen. And I'll go a step further. There shouldn't be any fucking billionaires. As long as there's people, right now there's 40 million Americans, 42 million to be exact, who are starving because Trump illegally froze the food stamp money. 18 million of them are kids. We have starving kids in this country, but somebody's going to get $1 trillion? No. Totally unacceptable. I'm sorry. Any penny that you make over $999,999,999.99 should be taxed at 100%. Nobody should be allowed to have $1 billion net worth. If you max out at 999 million, you should get a little fucking plaque in the mail that says, congratulations, you wanted capitalism. And they take every penny over that and they build a fucking hospital. They build a school. Because this is unacceptable. This is unacceptable. So I need you to stop and think about this. So as Judd Legum points out on Twitter, he says, if Musk meets all the benchmarks of his new $1 trillion pay package from Tesla, he will be paid, I hope you're sitting down, $274 million every day for the next 10 years. $274 million every day for the next 10 years. I'm sorry, if you hear this story and you say you're still a right-winger and you're still a capitalist, you are just fucking a cuck. You're just a cuck. You're just the biggest cuck in the world. You fucking bend over and say, please, billionaire daddies, dump a load in me. That's what you want to do. The most common sense, there's never been anything more common sense than redistribution of wealth. Taxing the wealthy and redistributing it to give people a chance at a decent life. To give people universal health care and free college and a living wage. To give people paid vacation time by law and a 4-day work week and paid maternity leave and paid paternity leave. Like, this is so crazy that we have people who literally are living paycheck to paycheck. And this guy's going to $274 million every day. Literally after one day, you should never be able to spend that much money in your whole fucking life. $274 million? And what people have failed to realize is that extreme wealth, by its very nature, corrupts democracy and ends democracy. Because when somebody has that much wealth, that equates to power. And when you have that much power, the power is not really with the people. The power is not really with the government, the people's house. It's with the oligarchs. It's with the billionaires. So for the love of God, everybody needs to understand, the problem is not the trans people. The problem is not the billionaires. The problem is the billionaires. The problem is not trans people or immigrants. That's what you need to understand. Oh my God, bro. This is just so crazy to me. The bottom 80% of Americans only has 7% of the wealth. Let me repeat that. The bottom 80% of Americans only has 7% of the wealth, but Elon Musk is going to be a fucking trillionaire with a T. With a T. I'm telling you, at some point, people are going to be so fucking fed up with it. They're going to be so sick of it. Guillotines are going to make a comeback. Pitchforks are going to be out there in the streets. I mean, this is like one of the most armed countries, if not the most armed country on planet Earth, and this is how working people are fucking disrespected on a daily basis. You get your fucking eye spit in by these sick sons of bitches. And by the way, he gets more tax cuts. He gets tax cuts. He gets subsidies, he gets tax cuts. You get your taxes increased and you get kicked off your fucking Medicaid. And you get your fucking SNAP money frozen. He's taken, what is it, over $30 billion in government subsidies? Why don't you fucking return that money, Elon? Why don't you return that money? Return the $38 billion fucking dollars that us taxpayers gave to you for 17 fucking rockets of yours to explode. How about that? Motherfucker. Goddamn. Ugh. $1 trillion. I'm sorry, like, it shouldn't be allowed. It just shouldn't be allowed. It should not be allowed. And also, he should be in prison. And isn't it so fucking ironic? This guy's going to be a trillionaire and make $274 million every single day, but he also cut pediatric cancer research and Meals on Wheels. Do you not understand that this man is like, that's like the devil? Like, he's like a literal fucking demon. That's what that is. You're cutting pediatric cancer research and fucking Meals on Wheels as you're going to make $274 million a day. $1 trillion is what you're going to be worth. Nah, bro. Nah, it's just not okay. When are Americans going to wake up? When are they going to realize who the actual problem is? Like, he is the actual fucking problem. When are people going to realize it? Oh my God. Ugh. I might just give myself an aneurysm on air today because this story is not going to get out of my head. It's just not going to get out of my head. It's going to be fucking stuck there forever. The bottom 50% of the country, they hold 2.6% of the wealth. The top 1% of the country holds 30% of the wealth. Over $40 trillion. And now one man is going to have $1 trillion. when half the country, like 70% of the country is living fucking paycheck to paycheck. One man is going to be a trillionaire. And we're going to allow this? We're going to allow this. We're just going to sit back and let this fucking happen? Don't give me this bullshit either of like, oh, his wealth doesn't make others poor. The fuck it doesn't. Of course it does. Of course it does. At any given time, there's a finite amount of money in circulation. Yes, how we divvy it up is a choice. It's a policy choice. Jesus Christ. All right. Let me try to calm down as we continue here, but I doubt that'll happen because air traffic controllers are now resigning due to the stress inflicted by the government shutdown. The union president came out and warned them of that. I've been seeing stories of like a full ground stop at, I think LaGuardia Airport had a full ground stop. That's in New York. You've had 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour, 4 hour delays at different places. They're going to shut down like 10% of the flights in the country, starting, I believe, within the next couple days maybe. I mean, it's happening, bro. These people are working, busting their asses, not getting paid. It's a fucking high-stress environment because there's already stress. Because remember, Elon and Trump mass-fired air traffic controllers not that long ago. So, I mean, it's a breaking... They're literally at a breaking point. And everybody's pretending like, oh, it's okay. Fucking whistling past the graveyard. This is crazy. This is crazy. So, I mean, bottom line is, Trump and Republicans need to say, okay, we're going to allow... we're going to allow the healthcare money to continue. That's it. That's all they have to do is say the Obamacare subsidies can continue. We're not going to let Americans' healthcare premiums double, triple, and quadruple. That's it. That's all they have to say, and then boom, everything would be funded. But they're not. So Trump is starving 40 million Americans and screwing over 1 million government workers. Also that he can massively increase the cost of your healthcare premium. Great. Good stuff. Very solid. All right, how about this? Some Republicans are calling for a course correction on immigration, and that comes amid rising fears in the GOP over retaining Hispanic voters in 2026, especially after Tuesday. Quote, this is a wake-up call, one of them said. Clearly it's an issue, and a big one at that. So this is great because when they say we need a course correction on immigration, let me tell you what these Republicans actually mean, because they're fucking Republicans. What they mean is, keep doing all the evil fucking shit you're doing, but be a little more quiet about it. Can you please not take away everybody's rights in the process? Can you please have due process there? You can still go after all these innocent people, but we don't like the videos of it. The videos make us look bad, bro. So you have to at least pretend like you're professional as you ruin people's lives. Duh. So this is what they actually mean. The thought that any of these Republicans mean like, no, now I'm in favor of a humane immigration policy. Please. Who would believe that? Nobody fucking believes that. That'd be crazy if you believe that. So that's what they're saying. And by the way, I have to say, and I'll talk more about this in a little bit, but this is something I called. I told everybody that these temporary gains with minority groups for Trump, that it would be exactly that. It would be temporary. And now we know for sure that's a fact. All right. Hey, Stinky. So the FBI is sending memos out to local law enforcement now and warning them that they've had multiple instances of men nationwide posing as ICE agents and wearing masks. And they do that so they can commit rapes, robberies, and kidnappings. In fact, we've covered, I believe, 2 or 3 different instances of criminals dressing like ICE so they can commit their crimes. And now we know they're aware of that and they're warning people of that. That they're warning local law enforcement like, hey, this is happening. So by the way, what's the solution to this? Oh, I don't know. Maybe you fucking pricks followed the law and stop covering your goddamn faces. It's always been illegal for you to cover your goddamn fucking faces. Because if you're part of the government, a government agency, you work for us. You work for the people. You don't get to fucking hide your identity. Like, there needs to be a way to redress grievances. You need to act professionally. And the only reason they cover their faces is so they don't act professionally, so they can get away with committing crimes because they know what they're doing is criminal. And that's exactly what it is. And now you have a lot of crimes because of it. A lot of, not just their crimes, which there's many of their own crimes, but crimes from others who are pretending to be them. So it's all, again, it's just a nightmare. We're witnessing a nightmare. This is absolutely gut-wrenching, but Sam Stein posted this. A man ran to the Broadview ICE facility today searching for his wife of 5 years. They were following the legal process, showing up for her court case, when ICE took her to another room and disappeared her. He tracked her phone to Broadview, where the signal cut off. Police told him to just look up her name online. He sat in a parking lot, weeping, confused, with no answers. And so, there's a picture attached to this story, which really is just gut-wrenching. It's this guy in his suit, and he's sitting in the parking lot, head in his hands, just weeping, because his wife got stolen from him. He doesn't know where she is, and they followed the process perfectly, and it didn't fucking matter. It didn't matter. So this is what terrorizing innocent people looks like. This is what terrorizing innocent people looks like. And that's why this election, among many other reasons, it was a total fucking rebuke of the legislative terrorists, the fascist death cult that are engaging in this stuff. This is what MAGA is about. They actually genuinely and sincerely want you to suffer. They want you to suffer. If you are a liberal, if you are a leftist, if you are a Democrat, if you are part of a minority community, racially, religiously, sexually, identity-wise, they want you to fucking suffer. They want you to suffer. And what's so funny is they say that about us, but it's actually not true about us. I've told you guys a million times. Do I hate MAGA? Oh, absolutely. Do I want to hang out with them? Do I want to shoot the shit? Do I want to hold hands and sing Kumbaya? Do I want to, do small talk with them? No, fuck them. I don't fuck them. Fuck them a million times over. But having said that, I want them to have health care. I want them to have high wages. I want them to be happy. I want them to live with dignity. That's the fucking difference between us and them. They have every layer of government they control right now. They control the House, they control the Senate, they control the presidency, they control the judicial branch, they control all of it. And what are they doing? We can see it with our own two eyes. It's fucking terrorism. It's fascism. That's what's happening. Now, when we get control, you'll see. What we want to do is help everybody, not fucking terrorize the people we don't like. So it's just, I can't say enough negative shit about this. But here's some good news. The D.C. man who was accused of assaulting a Border Patrol agent when he threw a Subway sandwich at him, he was just found not guilty by a jury. That, ladies and gentlemen, I love. And when you look at what the Border Patrol people were trying to say, they were trying to get this guy to go to prison for a long time. And they were like, when I got hit with the sandwich, I could feel it through my bulletproof vest. I'm not kidding. They actually said shit like this. I could smell the onions. I could smell the mustard. It was terrible. So they actually tried to make it seem like there was this like traumatizing event that led to genuine injury and shit. Meanwhile, that's laughable. It's laughable. Well, the judge wasn't buying it. The judge was like, go fuck yourself. This is nonsense. In fact, a federal judge is now issuing an injunction putting more permanent use of force restrictions on immigration agents during their Operation Midway Blitz. And they said that top government officials lied in their testimony about threats that protesters posed. So that guy, Greg Bavino, who literally looks like a Nazi and is cosplaying as a Nazi, and he's acting like a Nazi in terms of what he's doing to these innocent protesters, that guy lied repeatedly under oath, and now you have the judge going, you lied. You lied. I know you lied, and now I'm putting more restrictions on your ability to use force. Thankfully, ladies and gentlemen, the lower courts are common sense is prevailing, reason is prevailing, rationality and logic is prevailing, the facts are prevailing, and they're going, I don't know, man, you guys kind of look like the fucking criminals and liars. And so that's great, but of course, we're still dealing with people who blow off court orders, we're still dealing with the Supreme Court that largely lets Trump get away with almost anything he wants to do, and so it's still, at the end of the day, is a fucking nightmare, but it's interesting what happens when you have these fucking charlatan conmen pricks who face a little bit of accountability. Their stories crumble immediately. It's kind of amazing to see. All right. How about this? New York City Mayor-elect Zohran Mamdani says he plans to jail ICE agents if they commit crimes. Well, thank you, Zohran. Fucking thank you for taking a position which is obvious to everybody, but apparently is too controversial and risque in this country that's run by fascist Republicans. That's all we ask, is that the law be upheld. And they're violating the law all the time. And by the way, there were some lefties who were mad at him for trying to, piece it up with the NYPD. You don't understand. He's playing chess. You're playing checkers. The reason he's doing that is this. The reason he's doing that is so that if fucking Benjamin Netanyahu comes and visits New York City and he says, you got to arrest him, he's got an ICC arrest warrant, an ICJ arrest warrant, they can fucking go and arrest him, right? You got to piece it up with them because you're going to need, in this fascist environment, I'm sorry, you need guns on your side. You just do. I mean, that's where we're at, is you have to think about the muscle. You have to think about the guns. Hey, who's positioned where? You don't want all these fucking people with allegiance to the fascists. How's that going to work if they have all the guns and we have none? How's that going to work? Right? So he pieced it up with the NYPD so that when he says, okay, if you see an ICE agent commit a crime, arrest that motherfucker, they'll do it. They'll do it. So very smart of Zohran. He's 100% correct. And thank you for upholding the law. See, this is where we're at, just so everybody understands. I never want to hear again from any Republican, we believe in law and order. Oh, you do? then why are you guys still fucking defending Benjamin Netanyahu, today's modern-day Adolf Hitler? If you believe in law and order, you can't defend him. You can't defend him. If you believe in law and order, you can't defend Trump. What is it, fucking 32, 34-time convicted felon, whatever the fuck it is, charged with 91 crimes, actually guilty of all 91, fucking pardoning January 6ers and shit. Don't give me this. We know you guys despise law and order. You're doing an illegal war right now on Venezuela. So the funny thing is, it's always been the left that believes in law and order. We were the ones who were saying, arrest Dick Cheney, arrest George W. Bush. We've always been the law and order ones. And that's exactly what this is right here. Zohran saying, I believe in law and order, and if ICE commits crimes, they're fucking going down. Okay, more. So, Joe Scarborough, he tweeted the following. This is about Pope Leo, the new pope. Quote, speaking in English and reaching a U.S. audience directly, the Pope reiterated the Catholic belief that every Christian will ultimately be judged on how they welcomed the foreigner. So this is Pope Leo doing a direct rebuke of Trump and MAGA, saying, you think you're a fucking Christian or you think you're a Catholic? Okay, well, in order to be that, you got to be good to the immigrants. So let's see. Let's see. Right now, you're fucking not. You're not getting into heaven at the rate you're going. And by the way, Trump actually knows that. We've heard him say, like, I'm trying to get in there. I'm trying to get in there. He knows. He knows he ain't fucking going there. But that's great to see that the Pope is speaking out pretty directly on that stuff. All right, so I got more for you guys on Monday on this raging right-wing civil war. I mean, it is fucking, this thing is on fire. This thing is, like, you have fucking Tucker and Ben Shapiro and now Megyn Kelly stirring up a bunch of drama by doing interviews with all these people. It is amazing. It is getting out of hand in the most glorious way possible. I'm going to break down all that for you Monday. The reason why I'm waiting till Monday is because I want to show you guys the videos of it, and obviously I can't do that right now. So definitely tune in Monday and you'll see that. But, I will give you this. So Patrick Bet-David of the PBD podcast, he revealed that Ben Shapiro was supposed to come on his podcast, and he canceled the interview, and he canceled it because PBD had Nick Fuentes on first. And so, of course, Shapiro is basically trying to, he's trying to use his muscle in the industry and his weight to be like, well, you know, you're persona non grata if you ever interviewed Nick Fuentes. Like, you're outside the realm of respectable discourse. Which, I get what he's trying to do, but here's the problem with it. It's like, Ben, you have no moral authority to be the one who draws the lines and cancels people because you support modern-day Hitler. Yes, Nick Fuentes supports Hitler, so reasonable people can and should cancel him, right? But you support modern-day Hitler, Netanyahu, so you also can and should be canceled. So nobody's going to fall for your fucking bullshit, like your fake moral virtue signaling of like, well, he likes Hitler, so you shouldn't talk to him. It's like, okay, but you also like modern-day Hitler, so nobody should talk to you either, bitch. Like, that's the thing. And, you know, he'll never understand that. He'll never get that. You can't spend the past 2 years cheering on the bombing of innocent babies and now, all of a sudden, be like, can you believe that Nick Fuentes wants civilians to get hurt? Like, yeah, he supported Hitler and you support modern-day Hitler. You guys both are fine with innocent civilians getting killed or hurt or tortured or deported or whatever the fuck. You're all okay with it. So that's why it's ringing so hollow. But what's interesting is, like, Megyn Kelly's trying to fence it on this. I'm sorry, Megyn. Ain't no room for that. There's no room for that. You're going to be forced to pick a side. Absolutely. You're going to be forced to pick a side. And right now she's trying desperately not to. You're going to be forced to. So, and this is the modern day Republican Party and modern day MAGA. Do you support the new Holocaust or the old Holocaust? Obviously, the Nick Fuentes types, they support the old Holocaust. And the Ben Shapiro types, he supports the new Holocaust in Gaza. That's what it is. So you don't have to hand it to either of them. You don't have to hand it to either of them. They're both fucking grotesque, disgusting freaks. But, you know, it's enjoyment. I get enjoyment out of fucking watching them destroy themselves. I get entertainment out of watching them rip each other to shreds. And you should too. And you should too. All right. Murtaza Hussein with a big tweet here. So Murtaza Hussein and Ryan Grimm both did this piece that just dropped on DropSite. And he says this: leaked emails show that Jeffrey Epstein helped arrange talks between the Israeli government and in Cote d'Ivoire. I genuinely don't know. I think that's an African country, but I don't know for sure. But anyway, Jeffrey Epstein set up talks between the Israeli government and this country, and it culminated in the signing of a formal defense agreement in 2014. Epstein made introductions and held meetings between the leaders of that country and Israeli intelligence-linked firms and individuals that helped lay the groundwork for the deal that helped flood the country with Israeli surveillance technology. So this is like, I'm sorry, but this is like, I would go as far as to say it's total proof that Epstein is Mossad, when he's literally acting as an agent of the Israeli government and facilitating a deal for a surveillance state and surveillance equipment with a different country and introducing the right people and getting out, like dotting the I's and crossing the T's, that you're an agent for the government. And so, as far as I'm concerned, it is rock solid. You can take it to the bank. Jeffrey Epstein was Mossad. He was undoubtedly running, a blackmail operation. And anybody who denies that is completely and utterly full of shit. Completely and utterly full of shit. And this really, I think, this is the debate ender. This is the debate ender. If you're not working for that government, then how were you the one who midwifed this entire deal? It's because you are working for that government. You are. And this was when he was younger too, by the way, that he did this. So or I should say that the negotiation started when he was younger. I think it finalized in 2014. Is that what it says? I think. But anyway, it's a devastating story and it proves everything that we've been saying. All right. So listen to this. Scoop, the United States gathered intelligence last year that Israel's military lawyers warned there was evidence that could support war crimes charges against Israel for its military campaign in Gaza. That's according to 5 former U.S. officials. 5 former U.S. officials. So in other words, Israel's own military lawyers and legal experts were saying behind the scenes, hey dog, y'all are fucking sitting ducks because you're obviously committing crimes, and a lot of them. So again, like, is there any serious person left denying the reality here? No. I mean, really, the only people left are just liars. Nobody can sincerely believe Israel's innocent anymore. It's only liars who remain. It's only liars who would say, oh, they did nothing wrong, or they were only going after Hamas, and they were fighting a defensive war. No. It's all lies. And the fact that Israel's own military lawyers said, no, we're committing war crime after war crime, atrocity after atrocity, that also, to me, settles that question. All right, more. So there was this story the other day. This happened in New York City. And after Zohran was elected, I believe the next day, somebody went and spray painted a swastika on a synagogue. And, there was a bunch of articles about this. And Zohran immediately came out and was like, I fucking condemn this. This is horrible. This is terrible. Anti-Semitism is on the rise. I'll protect the Jewish community, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And what was really gross to me is that a bunch of people immediately assumed or argued that, well, obviously this is linked to Zohran. Obviously this is one of his people doing it. That irked me to no end because there was zero fucking evidence for that, and everybody knows it, right? But then we learned, because a video came out, or at least a screenshot of a video came out of the person fleeing from the scene after doing it. It turns out it appears to be an Orthodox Jew who did it. Okay. And we know that because of how they were dressed, the hat and stuff, right? So in other words, this is an example of I'm going to make us look like I'm going to commit the crime to make us look like we're being victimized by others, and then I'll blame Zohran's people. I mean, grotesque and disgusting, and classic cry bully shit. This is the cry bully shit that we've been talking about. This is the cry bully shit. It's you're going to self-victimize and then blame others when they did fucking nothing wrong. You're the actual problem here. Do you not understand that? Do you not realize that? Do you not see that? So just grotesque and low. And by the way, I'll just say this. I expect a lot more of this. And every single time, I'm going to be fucking skeptical of every single one of these stories, and you should be too. Because they are desperate to feed the narrative that he's some vicious anti-Semite who's he hates all Jewish people. No, the reason they're saying that is because he's correctly critical of the government of Israel and their war crimes. He's got nothing against any Jews. He's got a lot of Jews on his team, on his fucking team. What are you talking about? And they know that. But to them, being anti-Israel is a crime, even though Israel's doing a genocide. And that's why they do shit like this. All right. This one is awesome. This one sort of blew up on Twitter for good reason. So, Michael Franzese, however the fuck you say it, Franzese, probably Michael Franzese, I guess you'd say. I should know how to say this because I'm an Italian New Yorker, but on my mom's side of the family, we're Italian. But anyway, he's like a well-known mafia figure. He's a well-known mafia figure. And he tweeted the following: the Cosa Nostra, so the mafia, of my era, the 60s, 70s, and 80s, would not be happy with Mamdani as mayor. Cosa Nostra is not Marxist or socialist. We would have not allowed him to be elected. Agree, disagree, weigh in. We would have not allowed him to be elected? Hold on. Hold the phone. Are you saying, like, you were rigging elections directly? Is that what you're saying? Because that's certainly the fucking implication. We would not have allowed him to be elected. Dog, what? Well, by the way, let me just point out, the mafia still exists. So, if they had the ability to directly rig elections, they didn't in this instance, right? But what an admission. So I saw a bunch of people just dunking on this. This is the easiest dunk in the world. People were out there like, the gang of murderers and thieves is against this mayor, and they want everybody to know it. Like, yeah, you're criminals. You're murderers. You're thieves. Like, fucking, your endorsement is more of an anti-endorsement, right? For you to say, I hate this guy, means everybody else should say, we fucking love this guy. It's like having like a fucking rapist or serial killer or some shit. I'm against this person. Okay. Thanks for your fucking input in the conversation. So bizarre. So somebody said, Ali Vargas, shout out to him. He tweeted, very true. Murder and drug trafficking gangs have always been anti-socialist. Throughout Italian history, local landlords and capitalists would hire the mafia to assassinate union leaders and Communist Party members. Same with the right-wing narco paramilitaries in Colombia. There is a long history of these criminal gangs and cartels, the mafia, long history of them working with right-wing figures to assassinate socialists and communists and leftists who are actually trying to improve people's lives, actually trying to improve the world, actually trying to bring equality. They said, no, we don't want that. We want to continue to rob, cheat, and steal, so we'll kill these people. Just incredible. Again, it's an amazing admission. Thank you, Michael Franzese, for your fucking, effectively, what is an anti-endorsement here, because he should wear it like a badge of honor. He should. All right, more. So this is really interesting. We were told beforehand, there's some goofy, like, fake study that came out. 750,000 to 1 million New Yorkers will leave if Zohran gets elected. And as soon as I read that, I was like, that's bullshit. Like, just total bullshit. Just total bullshit. The people who Zohran is going to prevent from leaving are the working class people who are being priced out of the city, right? And that's who we should be concerned about. Anybody who's wealthy who says they're going to leave, first of all, they're not. Second of all, if any of the wealthy do leave, somebody else will come in and fucking fill that spot immediately, right? Some other entrepreneur. Because it's New York City. It's the financial capital of the world, right? It is like the city of all cities. It's like arguably the greatest city in the world. You really think like, you know, oh, you elected Zohran, now it fucking immediately crumbles and becomes like fucking useless. Of course not. Of course not. It's preposterous. Well, as soon as he gets in there, the reality fucking sets in. And so the mood on Wall Street after Mamdani's victory, ready? So here's one person says, Apollo, that's one of the companies, is committed to New York City. He needs to get a leadership team that can take on the challenges of the most complicated city in America. Another guy, big Wall Street guy, I am certainly not a socialist. I do care deeply about the city, and I'm not going anywhere. Whoever the mayor is, I'm going to do whatever I can to help him be successful. Bill Ackman, he said, and he was a big opponent of Mamdani, spent big against him, big Cuomo backer. Now you have a big responsibility. If I can help New York City, just let me know what I can do. So all of a sudden, the election goes to Zohran, and they're like, did I say I was going to leave, bro? I'm not actually going to leave. I'm going to fucking stay here. So yeah, then that's really a 2% higher tax on the mega wealthy. That's, we're leaving immediately. By the way, a lot of people did leave during COVID. They went to Florida, and a lot of them fucking came back to New York City. Because if you're a New York City person, nothing scratches the itch of New York City like New York fucking City. So people went from New York City to Miami. They were there for a year or two, and they get, fuck this shit. I'm going back to New York City. That's what happened. I'm just telling you the facts. And so it's always been cope. It's always been bullshit. First of all, the wealthy are not going to flee, as I said. Second of all, if they fucking did, then other wealthy people would come in and they would fill that gap. What Zohran is doing is saving the city by making it so that working class people can fucking afford to live there. How about that? None of these rich Republican assholes ever said, oh my God, I'm so worried because all the working class people are fleeing the city because they can't fucking afford it. They never said that. Why? Because they don't care about those people. You're supposed to struggle. You're supposed to be behind the eight ball. You're supposed to be living paycheck to paycheck. You're supposed to have a tremendous amount of debt. Me, on the other hand, I need the government to cater to me perfectly all the time. Like, fuck off. Just fuck off. So now they're all backpedaling. As I knew they would. All right. We talked about this a little bit on Crystal Kyle and Friends. Me, Crystal, and Ryan talked about it. Again, check that out. Drops later tonight. But this is incredible. So there's this right-wing asshole, like this evangelical Christian prick named Joel Webbin. And he said, this is in response to the Republicans getting shellacked. The lesson is not to appeal to liberal women. The lesson is to repeal women's right to vote. You don't argue with insanity, you mitigate it. Guys, this is one of like 5, 6, 7 different examples I saw of somewhat high-profile people on the right who were like, no, you need to take away women's right to vote now. And again, it goes back to, and Crystal made this point first, like, why is it that when Democrats lose, they're like, oh man, we got to reevaluate here, go back to the drawing board. What did we do wrong? But when Republicans lose, they go, oh, well, fuck those people even harder. Like, it's not even like, well, what did I do wrong? What did we do? We need to look. No, it's like, hey, how about we take away people's rights? Like, what? Just insane the way that they think. It's truly, truly depraved. But there's a lot of that going on. I don't think it's going to stop. And by the way, the Groypers are totally with the evangelical Christians on this one. So you're going to have the Groypers are taking over the Republican Party, and they're going to make an alliance with these evangelical Christians, and they might actually try to roll that right back. And if you think, oh, they won't do that, well, they did that with fucking the right to choose, didn't they? They did that with the right to choose, and now they might do that with gay marriage. Like, there's all these things, man. I'm telling you, the forces of this primitive ideology are always going to be in this tug of war with us. They're always going to try to drag us back to the Middle Ages. And literally, Nick Fuentes said that. He's on camera saying, we want to go back to the Middle Ages. That's what we want to do. So, we're always going to have to fight these battles. Always, always, always. All right. We also talked about this on KKF. Definitely go check it out. But the Heritage Foundation getting involved in the Republican Civil War backfired. And the guy, Kevin Roberts, who's the president of the Heritage Foundation, had to do like 6 fucking mealy-mouthed apologies because you had a lot of big-money Jewish donors fleeing because this guy defended Tucker and, by extension, Nick Fuentes a little bit. And so it is just, the right is collapsing. And it is a glorious, glorious thing to see. All right. We also have Trump, more dementia moments. Again, you can see the videos if you check out Crystal Kyle and Friends tonight. Like I said, we'll drop 35 minutes or so, free for everybody on the YouTube channel, and you could sign up on Substack for the rest. You'll get the full hour and 30 minutes. More. Okay. So, this is, I alluded to this earlier, but Democratic gains in this week's elections erased all the inroads that Trump made with non-white voters, young voters, and low-income voters in 2024. In fact, the Republican to Democrat shift from 24 to 25 is double Trump's gains from 2020 to 2024. So all the, oh my God, there's a fucking realignment, there's a racial realignment, there's a working class realignment, there's an age realignment, bro. Literally every single one of those things, every one of them shit the bed. And again, I got to pat myself on the back here. Everybody go check out Josh Cittarella's show. He does a great show. And I did an interview with him a while back. And if you go look at his show, Josh Citarella, he dropped like half the interview on the, for everybody. And then the other half, I believe, is he has a Patreon or something where you can pay to watch the rest of it. In the paid portion, he brings up this point to me, like, what do you make of all of this is pre-election, of course. He goes, what do you make of all the Republicans or Trump making all these inroads with these different minority groups? And my reaction was, I laughed and was like, that's going to be fucking temporary. Watch, I guarantee you. Proven immediately correct. And not many people were saying this, but I was saying it. And it's because they're governing like total sadistic psychopaths in a fascist death cult, because that's what they are. And it didn't take long for minority communities to go, oh, wait a second. These people fucking despise us. And they're making our lives worse. That's right, they are. That's right. New 2028 primary poll, everybody. New 2028 primary poll. Gavin Newsom crushing in this one at 24%. He is 17 points above the closest competitor. Kamala Harris is all the way down, or excuse me, that makes no sense, actually. Oh, I'm sorry. He's up 17 points from the last poll, I guess is what they're saying here. But the breakdown is Newsom's number 1, 24%, Harris number 2, 10%, Buttigieg number 3, 9%, AOC number 4 at 3%. So this is an Emerson poll. I have to say, I've seen polls all over the fucking map. I've seen polls where AOC is leading, but Newsom in this one is leading big. And guys, I got to say, it's probably just because he's fighting. It's because he's fighting Prop 50s, because he brought about Prop 50. He's fighting the right. He's sounding the alarm. He's saying that this shit is authoritarianism and fascism. And yeah, that's going to rally people to your side, because that's what we need in this moment. We need a fighter. All right. God, this story is really gross to me. I have to share it with you. So there's this Twitter account by the name of Chad. and it's at Bootlegged Chad, and they posted this really like gut-wrenching thing here where they said, 4 days out from my life-changing surgery, Aetna has denied the appeal for my brain surgery. To be clear, when I signed up to Aetna months ago, the coordinator had confirmed they would cover this surgery. Then a week ago, they said the surgery was too experimental and elective and denied coverage. We appealed. That appeal was just denied today. Now my neurosurgeon is trying to do a peer-to-peer consult with someone at Aetna to explain why I need it so we don't lose the surgery date on Monday morning. Aetna is not being responsive. This is sadistic and a violation of basic trust. Please spread this so they can't ignore it. They may not care if I live or die, but people should know just what kind of company they're dealing with. And please pray they are able to have a peer-to-peer consult with my neurosurgeon and have a change of heart. This is how the U.S. healthcare system and insurance system literally murders people. This is how it murders people. Straight up murder. Murder. That's the right word for it, is fucking murder. And I'm sorry, but you read this, and this is why everybody was shocked, or I shouldn't say everybody. The establishment was shocked when Luigi Mangione killed the health insurance executive. And they were like, oh my goodness, why are so many fucking people outright celebrating? This is why. Everybody knows somebody who's gone through exactly this, or they have their own fucking horror stories. For-profit health insurance companies are an unnecessary, rapacious, mafia-like, for-profit, parasite middleman. That's what they bring nothing to the table. All they do is they get in between you and your doctor and take their cut. What fucking good are they? What good are they? And then when you need help, they go, oh, that's great. Maybe we'll help you. But first you have to pay the first $5,000. What? Yeah, who's got a fucking spare $5,000 laying around? 5% of the population? Maybe? Like, what are you talking about? That's what this system is, bro. It's a mafia. They are a mafia. They are a fucking cartel. And everybody knows it, and they buy the fucking politicians, and the politicians rig the rules in their favor and, make it so that they can continue to be thieves from the American people. Totally unacceptable. We need universal health care, Medicare for all. Universal health care, Medicare for all. Single payer is what we need. Virtually every other developed country has one version or another of a single payer health care. We can too. We just need to stand up to the fucking gangsters and thugs and criminals, and that's what this whole industry is. That's what Americans need to wake up. You don't realize how much they fuck you. You don't realize. You think it's just a coincidence that we're the only country in the world that doesn't have paid vacation time by law? Certainly the only developed country. Maybe there's like 3 or 4 total, maybe, that don't have paid vacation time by law. It's because the corporations and billionaires have total control of the government. You don't understand how much they're screwing you. You truly don't. And so many people have a story like this. It should not be like this. It should not fucking be like this. And people wonder, oh, how the fuck did Luigi get so popular? I just told you. I just fucking read that statement. And now you know. All right. All right, we're getting there, guys. We are fucking getting there. Let me give you this. So, Kristi Noem, the head of the Department of Homeland Security, she is, God, she's so fucking gross. So she's just, all she seems to do is just go around and have photo shoots. Have you noticed that? Like, she'll just fucking take a picture. She just posted a picture of her riding a horse on a beach in Ecuador. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? You're getting paid by American taxpayers. And like every week, she's doing some weird fucking dress-up bullshit. She's acting like a kid on Halloween. She's wearing a fucking, like decked out in full military gear, holding a gun in the incorrect way, by the way, where the barrel's pointing at the fucking agent's head right next to her. She's standing there fucking posing and shit. And now you're riding on a horseback on a fucking beach in Ecuador and posting the picture. For what? For what? Meanwhile, this country is fucking falling apart. And you're, like, trying to do fucking GQ photo shoots on a daily... I guess it's not GQ, because she's not a man. Usually it's meant for GQ. But, you're doing these fucking, like, magazine-style photo shoots. Like, what is this? What is this? I'm sorry, this is, like... This is a fascist regime, and they're also massively incompetent. But they're also obsessed with optics. And this is just a great example of it here. It honestly reminds me of the goofy, like, Putin shirtless on the back of a horse, where he's supposed to look, like, manly and cool, and he doesn't. This is what Kristi Noem's doing the same shit. Right? This is the same fucking shit. I need to take a shower every time she fucking comes across my timeline. All right. So Tucker Carlson, you all know he likes to, virtue signal like he's anti-war. He's not. And being a paleoconservative and being anti-war, it's the weakest version of being anti-war, because it's not from first principles. It's not like, hey, we don't have a right to violently and illegally overthrow foreign governments at a whim. Because then, by that logic, do others have a right to do that to us, right? That's a real beefy anti-war argument. It's from first principles, right? He doesn't believe that. He's like a paleocon, and so he flirts sometimes with being non-interventionist. But at the end of the day, it's chicken shit, as it always is, right? And that's why you always hear them say, like with Gaza, like, oh, why is my tax money going to that country? That it's always phrased from like a dollars and cents perspective. It's never phrased from like a human lives perspective. It's never phrased. They always say like, this is a mistake, not like this is a fucking war crime and everybody involved should be locked up and they should throw away the key. Notice how it's just a softer version of being anti-war, much softer. And so I got a great example of that here. So he sat down with Megyn Kelly. Again, I'll get into more of this on Monday when the Fuentes part. I'll cover the Fuentes part on Monday. There's a whole bunch of stuff, Ben Shapiro stuff Monday. But Tucker asked Megyn Kelly about Dick Cheney's death. And Dick Cheney refused to criticize Cheney because of this goofy, I respect death and I don't like to say bad things once people are gone. Okay. Then he goes on to say, quote, Dick Cheney raised a really repulsive daughter, talking about Liz, which I think is bad. And if I had a daughter like Liz Cheney, I don't believe in suicide, but I would consider it. So he somehow managed to attack in the dumbest, most vile, wretched, repulsive way possible. All you had to say was, well, he's a fucking war criminal, right? He's a war criminal. He did torture. He profited off of the war. That's all you have to do. That's all you have to do is that. That's it. He couldn't. He said, I'm not going to criticize him, but I will criticize his daughter, who if I had a daughter like he did, I would fucking kill myself. So in other words, the problem with Dick Cheney is that he ended up raising a liberal gay daughter. Actually, is Liz the gay one? I don't know. The other one might be the gay one. I don't know. But he raised a liberal daughter. And raising a liberal daughter, somebody who criticizes Trump, that's the crime. So Dick Cheney's biggest crime is raising somebody who was anti-Trump to Tucker Carlson. Take note of that. His biggest crime is not the fucking torture. It's not the war crimes. It's not the hundreds of thousands of innocent dead Iraqis. It's not the thousands of dead Americans. It's not the making $40 million for a war that you lied us into. It's not that. He didn't fucking mention that. He mentioned Liz Cheney. This is why he's totally fucking full of shit. And you need to know that. And you need to understand that. All right. So 8 months ago, Representative Sylvester Turner, a Democrat in Texas, died. And his seat in the U.S. House today is still vacant. As I said, he died 8 months ago. So two Democrats advanced to a runoff election for that seat. And in order for the runoff to happen, the Texas Governor Greg Abbott needs to set the date. He's refusing to set the date. So this is just like refusing to seat Adelita Grijalva. Adelita Grijalva is the 218th vote, which would guarantee the release of the Epstein files. He's just refusing to sit her. It's been so long now. He's refusing to sit Adelita Grijalva. I think it's a record amount of time that he's refused to seat her. He is subverting democracy. He's subverting the will of the people. This is a crime. He should be immediately arrested for what he's doing. He should be immediately arrested. Sit those people now or else. Sit Adelita Grijalva now or else. Greg Abbott, Governor Hot Wheels, set the fucking date for the race or your ass should be fucking arrested. You should be arrested. This is subverting democracy, subverting the will of the people. This is anti-American. This is something you should be locked up for. And so it's disgusting. It's fucking disgusting. We have to come out here and explain the basics of being a fucking American to these cretins. And they know, they just don't care. They just don't care. They don't actually believe in democracy. If democracy means Democrats ever win, they'll leave democracy. They don't fucking care. They don't care. And it's just proven day in and day out. All right. And then finally, let's talk a little bit about this OpenAI thing. So there's this OpenAI document that was submitted a week ago where they advocate for including data center spending within the American manufacturing umbrella. So what Sam Altman wants is federal loan guarantees for his data centers. This is insane. And in fact, there's a video of Sam Altman. He was, More Perfect Union tweeted it. He was on some other podcast. And in the podcast, he says the following. I'll quote him. When something gets sufficiently huge, the federal government is kind of the insurer of last resort. As we've seen in various financial crises, given the magnitude of what I expect AI's economic impact to look like, I do think the government ends up as the insurer of last resort. That is Sam Altman saying, I am too big to fail. AI is too big to fail. And so when the bubble bursts, you're going to bail my ass out. And you're going to bail my ass out, and I'm going to make billions, even though I fucking bankrupted my own company, destroyed the economy. I'm still going to walk away with billions. Just like in 2008, what happened with those criminal fucking bankers. So let me read this post because I think it puts it very well. Aaron Rugenberg says, this sociopath is literally saying, yeah, I'm making billions building up a bubble, but that's okay because when it bursts, the American taxpayers will bail me out so I can keep making more billions. Hard to even find words for the depravity of these motherfuckers. That's exactly right. And that's to say nothing about the environmental impacts of these data centers. Fucking blowing through water, fucking gonna lead to fresh water running out in many areas. Massively increasing energy prices, which are dumped onto the people. So it is just, in Grok's fucking data center in Memphis, Tennessee, is poisoning Memphis. Literally, we've covered it. More Perfect Union did a whole thing on it. And here we are. And best case scenario, let's say all the AI technology works. Everybody loses their fucking job. The social safety net is cut. Food banks are cut. Food stamps are cut. The social safety net is gone. You're kicked off your Medicaid. And you don't have a fucking job anymore. As I said, we're all going to sit back and watch that happen as fucking Elon Musk is worth $1 trillion. Learn who your real enemies are. Learn who your real enemies are. Jesus. And, you know, Mark Zuckerberg is also in hot water because the billionaires are all criminals. But it's incredible reporting by Reuters. Meta is making more money from ad fraud, as much as $16 billion, than all the NFL TV partners put together make on NFL ad sales. That is theft on an epic scale. So about 10% of its 2024 revenue for Meta came from ads for scams and banned goods. That's insane. So again, he's profiting $16 billion off of fucking fraud and scams. When you're a billionaire, crime is legal. Crime is legal. Why? So you can pick up the fucking phone and call Trump. You can pick up the phone and call Trump. All right. And then finally, so Tommy Tuberville is one of the dumbest politicians in the country, I think it's fair to say. And he was on Fox News, and the host asked, would you support U.S. troops going into Nigeria? The reason he's being asked this is because Trump did some tweet storm supporting war against Nigeria, invading Nigeria. And he did it because he saw one report on TV about how there were some Boko Haram terror attacks. And Trump says, well, we're going to invade and we're going to defend the Christians from the Muslims. Now, it's all stupid because the fact of the matter is, the Muslims are also getting attacked by Boko Haram. Boko Haram are fundamentalist extremists and they're attacking Christians and Muslims. But Trump looks at it and goes, well, let's attack the Muslims to protect the Christians. In other words, making everything worse, creating more tension, going in guns blazing, as Trump literally said, I want to go in guns blazing, when he doesn't know the first fucking thing about it. He saw one, 5-minute news report on it from Fox, which means it was probably biased anyway, and he thinks, oh yeah, I got it. Insane. So Tommy Tuberville has asked this. He said, you bet I would support troops going to Nigeria. It wouldn't be like going into Russia, China, North Korea, or Iran. This would be helping innocent people who could take back over the country. I'm going to fucking lose it, bro. I'm going to fucking lose it. I'm going to lose it. I'm going to lose it. How is it that the dumbest fucking people in the country are also the most evil? How is it that the dumbest fucking people in the country are also the most... I don't get it. I don't fucking get it. How many times... We are witnessing Trump bomb innocent fishermen on a daily fucking basis. He's killed what? How many now? 40, 50, 60 different people? Bombed 16 different boats off the coast of Venezuela, Colombian boats, Trinidad and Tobago boats. He bombed boats in the fucking Pacific. And that had nothing to do with fucking Venezuela. They're planning on bombing in Colombia, in Mexico. He attacked innocent people in fucking Yemen and Somalia. He increased drone strikes over 400% and massively increased the civilian death rate. And your dumb ass is going, oh yeah, I want to invade Nigeria and attack them because, we'd be helping innocent people. You want to know how to help innocent people? Stop fucking murdering them. Tell Trump to stop fucking murdering them, which he's doing on a weekly fucking basis. Oh my God, bro. 22 people have died in ICE custody. How about those innocent people? Right? You support the fucking killing of them because you want ICE to run wild. I can't. War with Nigeria. We're adding another fucking one to the list, y'all. Another one to the list. Just this week, we got Venezuela. We got Colombia. We got Mexico. And now we got fucking Nigeria. We got 4 in 1 week. We got 4 fucking new wars from the guy who was tweeting memes of the pro-peace ticket. It showed him and JD Vance standing there looking like iconic figures. Pro-peace, yes, we're anti-war, yes. They would attack, the right-wingers, MAGA would attack Kamala. She's gonna send your sons and daughters to die in war. Meanwhile, now they're in there, they're like, all right, how many countries can we invade at once? Can we break the record? What's the record? Can we try that? You literally would be better off saying the countries they don't want to invade, right? Because their default is like fucking anybody in the hemisphere and then plenty more in the Middle East, right? I can't. Oh my God. Jesus Christ. Oh. All right. I think you guys get it. That's the show, y'all. I love y'all very much. Everybody tune in to Crystal Kyle and Friends later. Sign up for Crystal Kyle and Friends as well. So you can see the whole thing with Ryan Grimm tonight. I love y'all. I'll talk to you soon. Everybody have a great rest of your day to the extent that you can in this hellscape.